This video is for you if you have been playing Dragon Traveler for around 2 to 3 months, meaning around where the game launched. And let's address the elephant in the room in the fact that the game has been introducing a lot of systems that require you to invest your hard-earned gems. However, there's been really little in the way of compensation to actually level up all of these new events. When you look at stuff such as the Temporal Rift, where one of the biggest power spikes comes from the artifact, where you can go ahead and purchase a couple of them for free if you're actually clearing the stage, but the second that you get stuck, you have to invest a couple of diamonds. And on average, we're looking at around a 6k diamond investment in order to get around 4 multis worth of pulls. Now, alongside that, you might or might not get what you need to actually level up your actual goddesses so you can get more power in this event. Most recently, the Sea Goddesses Vault, which is about to expire in about a day, which is probably the most outrageous example of this, with the fact we have to spend around 16k gems in order to buy out all of the conches, and that only gives us around 4 multis to actually spend in the event. If you're sick and tired of seeing your wallet just keep getting drier and drier with each of these new banners releases, and nobody gives you out a helping hand out there, well, I got you, homie. And so do our buddies over at Loot Bar. Loot Bar gives you incredible discounts on everything gaming, especially gacha games, which is what we're interested in. We're talking up to 10% cheaper than the official store prices. Plus, if you're a new user, you could get up to another 6% off on your first purchases. And look, I know what you're thinking, man, but it's 100% safe. You top up just by using your UID, no passwords, nothing sketchy. Whether you're planning to use these for Dragon Travelers, Star Saviors, got you covered, man. You just hop on, pick your pack, enter your UID, and then you get pretty much instant delivery of your goodies. It's really that easy. Loot Bar is backed by thousands of reviews on Trustpilot and probably endorsed by one of your favorite YouTubers. Not only that, but they also have a 7-day after sales refund guarantee. So if anything goes wrong with your order, they got you covered, man. And if you use my link in the description, you'll be supporting the channel even more so I can keep making more and better content for you guys. Huge thanks to Loot Bar for the hookup and for letting me deliver more content to you guys. Anyways, back to the video. Now, unless you get ridiculously lucky, you're probably not going to get anything on your first rotation. In my case, I actually did get lucky and I was able to get 2 of the cubes and then 1 out of this track. However, I do feel that if you are a light spender or a free-to-play, you should definitely spend all of your conches on this first event just so that you can actually get some of the basic or universal sorts, because this is already a massive power spike for your account, very similar to the first time you unlock the Golden Clover events. However, beyond that, it really does become a hoarding game. You want to make sure that you are able to spend your conches based on the guarantees. And at least from what we've seen, until stage clear 150, you're really not going to be guaranteeing yourself getting any cubes. So you should ideally be saving up 150 pulls in order to just get a shot at getting 2 additional cubes out of here. This event is so outrageous. As light spender or free to play, you really should not be even paying attention to this event past the first rotation. So I think we've really come at a crossroads where the devs either need to amp up the compensation, which, let's be honest, just is not going to happen. They're super unresponsive and they're just copy and pasting everything that they have from the other versions into here without really giving us any quality of life. And whenever you try to talk to anybody on the team, you just get this generic response, just letting us know that nothing will happen, just like they haven't proposed any solutions to the guild auction, even though every day less and less people are actually engaging with the system. So what do I propose? You might see something in my account that's been a little bit different if you paid attention to my other videos. It is that typically I have a stash of around 40k diamonds and I never really go past that. You can see that right now I'm close to 100k diamonds. Now, how did I actually do this? Well, I've started to do something that I would heavily encourage anybody who has met certain criteria to start doing on their account, to start preparing for the next phase of your account. And that is not focusing on treasure hunt. I never thought I would see the day where these words are coming out of my mouth, guys. Since day one, have been a very massive proponent of you buying 5 hornets every day, 2 to 3 of these wishstone packs every day, and then 1 purple potion pack every single day, which comes up to be a massive amount of gems that you will be spending. So much so that realistically, if you're not spending any money, as long as you are hitting peak and you're progressing, you will not make or lose any gems. So the game gives you enough resources to do this on a consistent basis. However, your stash of gems will not go up again, because of the lackluster compensation that this game gives you. In the upcoming patch for tomorrow, we will be getting a brand new set of worm spells and a brand new clover event catered to doing summons for your spells. However, in the last 3 weeks, I have no longer been purchasing anything from the treasure hunt store. I have been fully hoarding every single gem that I have been getting. And if you saw my calculations, around every month, you will be able to get between 50k, being very conservative and assuming you're not doing everything in the game, to close to 80k gems every month, which sounds like a lot until you remember you need around 15k gems in order to guarantee yourself one copy of a character. And if you want to get them up to at least the 1 red star, which is typically when they unlock most of their kit, because after that you need to wait all the way until diamond until they get another buff other than stats, you're looking at, give or take, 100k gems of investment for just one character. And this game just doesn't give us enough resources to get to that point without having to make some sacrifices. Now, if you're a new player and you're still watching this video, this does not mean, hear me out, that you're not going to do Golden Clover, because Golden Clover is one of the biggest power spikes that you can do for your account. So we're actually going to go in here, and here are the 4 things I feel you should do in your Golden Clovers before you even consider doing this. And that is going over here into the Leaf Store. You should have been able to get your Black Dragon, so you can get some additional crit rate on your account, your Pumpkin Knight, so you can get some extra damage on your account. I would personally, unless you're a whale, ignore the Hydra and the Titan. Then for your worm spells, you're gonna want to make sure that you have gotten your Swift Aura and your Reflect Aura all the way to UR so that they are maxed out. Now keep in mind, you need to keep buying the UR version so you could get magic inlays, and then this is just a completely another system that is gonna take you a whole lot of resources. But as long as you have those 4 things that you have purchased over the Golden Clover events, which again, depending on how much you're spending, it's gonna take you at least between 3 to 4 months to actually get to this point. Assuming you're not dropping any actual real money into the game, it should take you around that long. Once you have those 4 things, and maybe arguably the Titan because of how much HP it gets you, I would recommend you to look at your account after you've gotten those 4 things and ask yourself this: are you reaching peak? If you are reaching peak, there's really not that big of a reason for you to get even more powerful unless you're trying to go and rank high on PvP, which, if I'm honest with you, unless you're just in it for like vanity metrics, I don't think it's really all that important. The only moment where this is actually something that you want to do, I don't remember where I saw this, but I'm pretty sure that in the God King Clash, if you're able to actually rank, I believe in the top 8 of your servers, you will be able to buy some crazy Hulkins, and that's actually one of the ways that you will have the chance to get this absolute monstrosity of a Hulkin, especially if you're in the green or blue faction, that literally gives you just additional slots for you to put more relics into your dragons. This is absolutely busted, but again, you will only get it assuming you're able to rank high in the God King Clash. Which, sadly for me, I'm always rank 9. I'm never able to reach the top 8 so that I can start farming that up. And depending on your server, if it's more active or inactive, then you'll have different incentives to actually try and get stronger. Past the point where you can actually reach the peak. It is now at this point where I think your focus, instead of it being on gathering additional golden clovers, since you already have a tremendously strong baseline, you are now able to get the max amount of AFK rewards. You have a very solid account because you have those 2 Halkins and those 2 worm spells. And keep in mind, those are universals. So now you can start building and making a way more functional and niche type of teams that you actually want to enjoy playing. For example, the Summoner team is getting Loki tomorrow. And with that, there's going to start to be a trickling down of characters that work really well with her. But if you're still focusing on just getting golden clovers, you're never really going to have enough gems to really get them to the level that you need them to, and you're going to be stuck trying to farm their shards for a billion years. And sadly, the higher your account progresses, you're going to need these characters to be off-rip at a very high star level so you can actually input them into your teams and they can actually work and help you clear the content. Obviously, this also becomes obfuscated depending on how many SSR slimes you have, but at least from everybody raging on my comments, it looks like you guys already blundered all of your slimes and you don't have any of them left. And again, with how stingy the developers are to give us any actual progression in this game, you really need to plan out what team you want to build, what units that team needs, and then start hoarding as of right now, so you can actually get those units and you're able to get them to at least a usable state before you need to grind for months on end before you actually get to use the team. So guys, I would really like to hear your takes on this. What do you think of the Sea Goddess's Vault? What do you think of the Temporal Rift? And are you already at a point where you have gotten these 4 purchases out of the way from your Golden Leaf store? Unless you have done this, this whole video and this whole recommendation does not apply to you, fam, alright? So I don't want to see you on the comments. But if you're already at this point, I 100% believe that we're now in a transitional period where now we can actually start building the teams that we want and start preparing for that part of the game. And I feel like it's going to be a tug and pull, right? There's going to be periods where you're focusing on a specific team. Me, for example, I'm going to transition to start to hoard so that I can get my summoning team to a very functional state. And then once I have my summon team, I will revert back to go into golden clovers so that maybe I can start picking up the golem. Maybe at that point, the dodge is going to be really good for the Hydra. Or heck, maybe now there's a very broken worm spell for a specific faction that I want to chase so I can make that faction even stronger. So yeah, leave it down in the comments. I just want to talk about this. See ya.